The first one was the assessment standard, but it was the study guide lesson.
Yeah, well, this was the first, because there was the process, the whole project.
Right,
Which is what we're going to count this as.
Okay.
And it started with you doing the coordinate graphing and the river systems mapping activities, which we talked about. And then worked on to the informational sheet, which we talked about how we, maybe should have given them smaller chunks because it was way too much. Yes. And then,
the readings.
Right, the readings was like 3 pages of stuff, which we probably should have broken down into a bit more chunkable pieces so that the kids kind of understood more of what they were reading because they didn't really read it all.
It was just overwhelming.
Yeah, it was overwhelming. Which then you gave them the study guide to use with that information and gave them 3 days to work on it.
Yeah.
And then came back and reviewed it. And that's the lesson that you guys did for last week. Right?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah. So that lesson went fine. Again, giving them a study guide, allowing them to work together for a little bit and by themselves a little bit. It gives them that ability to kind of monitor themselves a little bit, not just count on other people. And
I like doing that with this group. I'm finding that's working better because it also helps the kids that love to work with another person.
Right.
And then
or need to work
with another person. And the kids that really enjoy doing it on their own.
Yeah.
But sometimes I always wonder if I should pick who I want to work together with this group instead of letting them choose.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. Like I always choose their reading groups. Like I chose their reading partners. Yeah. And for the most part it works fine, but there are a couple that just are not. They're fighting me on it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, this is what you guys have to do. You have to work with each other. You have to learn that you can't always be with your best friends.
Yeah.
Or even your semi-good friends. Sometimes you work with the one person in the room that you don't want to work with.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's one of those things that you have to, set the expectations, set these standards, make sure that you go and monitor them, that they know what they're doing. Like we've got Isaac and Taylor,
They're tough.
They don't want to work together, but I made them do it on Friday and they actually did.
Yeah, they're getting better and
getting better at it.
And now they're in the same group for the game boards.
Yes.
It's so funny. His name, he was...
Have them choose, or let you say, okay, today I'm putting you together for this task or whatever. And just let them know, sometimes this happens, sometimes you have to work with people. And it's all your speaking and listening standards and getting along and participation. It's all wrapped up in that. Because sometimes they don't think that
it's important enough.
It's important enough, exactly. Yeah. Or it doesn't count, or it's just whatever, So,
Well, that's right.
Yeah. So that would be something I would work on. Then when you gave them the study guide and they came back with it on Monday, and you said, okay, this is what your test is going to be on. Okay, we still had kids that weren't done with it.
Yeah.
So, and again, that is partly their choice.
Okay? And we did a full review on it in class all together, and then even today when we went over the test and I looked at Kasha's, I was like, you didn't even, you didn't fix it. I know we went over this together. I know we did this.
Yeah, and that's going to be, partly. Are those kids doing it because they're choosing not to, or because they don't understand?
Yeah, and that's that fine line of do I let them use it on their test? Or that's where I was kind of.
And that's why I kind of didn't want you to use it on the test, because I was looking around going that they were really, really attempting to use it without it.
They were doing, and honestly, most of them did great.
Yes, they did. And looking back at the scores, I wanted a real reflection over the 5 day of what they were doing. And since it was just a 5 day, it wasn't like the Roman Greece test that we gave. It was 8 weeks long, where we let them use their notes because it's just the way they're going to memorize all that information. This was very reasonably expected. That you've been going over this. She went over it with you a couple of times. She went over the answers with you. You should have had the thing all.
And the ones, honestly, the ones that you could say pay attention the least, almost. Or I guess not pay attention to these, but the big disruptors that you don't expect sometimes, they all did great. Because it felt like it was reiterated so much through every lesson that we did that some of it sunk in really well.
Yeah, and I was really, Alejandro did a good job.
I know. So did Drew.
Yeah.
Drew did great, and Yale also did. Yale still have his. I think he got a 33.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah. So all three of them really did. And then the ones that didn't do the study guide though, or didn't change anything or didn't fix anything, didn't look up anything at home.
Yeah.
They're the ones that really suffered.
Yeah, because they didn't take the time to actually do what they needed to do.
Right.
And that's one thing, and this is just a side note. I've seen kids who will write on their arm and write notes down, and I'll catch them. And then they do fine on the test. And I said, why do you think that happened? Because I took the time to write it down, even though I was writing it down on my hand.
Yeah.
It's just another way of putting it in your head.
Yeah.
That's why I like the study guides and making them accountable to do them.
Yeah.
Which, we probably should figure out a way to, because some of those kids didn't finish it.
Yeah, I should. Yeah. When you said that, when you asked me when it was due, I was like, it's a study guide. In my head, I was like, it's a study guide.
Right.
And then I caught on, oh my God, they won't do it. They won't do it unless. And so that was something I was like, okay, gotta make sure I implement that and do that with this.
So the one step I would have added to that was either a checklist, because it's not something you wanted to collect and grade.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't always, not everything they do you want to collect and grade, because that's just way too much.
Yeah.
But you do want to hold them accountable for getting it done. So maybe just going through and just, making, like on the assignment tracker that I have, is just, sit and make a check. Did they complete it? Just let me see it. Check.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then they still have it, and you're just seeing who did it and who did not.
Yeah.
And that will give them the hint, like, oh, she wrote that down.
Yeah.
Even though you technically aren't going to put it in the grade book, it's still showing them that this was kind of important, and then using, and then not, because I think some of them assumed that they were going to be able to use it on the test.
Yeah.
Okay. Which means that they did studying, because they assumed that. And then when you didn't let them use it, those who didn't were like, oh gosh, she's not going to let us use the information on this thing. And I didn't really study for it, and I didn't really take my time, and now I don't have anything. And those are the ones that get those grades. And I want those grades reflected to them.
Yeah.
Because it does, again, we're in 6th grade now. Not in elementary school as much as you want them to, and you do want to set them up for success. You don't want to set them up for failure, but you also want to make them accountable and to figure out that this is not, I have to start being accountable for myself.
Yeah.
And what I want to do and what needs to be done, because they're not always going to be looking over my shoulder. And they're not always going to give me every opportunity, and that's really hard in 6th grade, because they, and their parents, they're like, oh, they're still 5th grade. They're still elementary. They're still little kids. I'm like, They're not. And this is we're easing them into it, because by the time they get to 7th and 8th grade, they're going to be expected to memorize 8 weeks of material, and they're not going to be able to use the study guide. Yeah. And in high school, it's going to be like 3 assignments for the whole entire class.
And that's all you get.
That's all you get.
All your points.
And if you don't do the steps at home, if you don't do the study guides, and you don't do the note-taking the way that they tell you to, you're not going to have the information to do the test on. Period, let alone. So, again, it's very hard transitioning into 6th grade.
It is good, though, to start that in a smaller, like a 5-day thing, like 5-day
Exactly.
period. We went over this, this is like a 3 to 4 lesson, memorize it, figure it out. And so it wasn't a huge bulk.
And it's also a major standard that they needed to understand. Okay?
Yeah.
And your test did that. It was very well constructed. It was very well standard based. Okay? And it incorporated.
I remember I looked at my standards that they had, and I was like, okay, I underlined and which ones they need to know, and then go to. And
you use a variety of questions. It wasn't just multiple choice. You never want to do multiple choice if you can avoid it. Sometimes
I hated multiple. I was so bad at multiple choice that I would never want to give it to a person.
Yeah. So fill in the blank is good. The essay question was good, because it allows them to. And I love essay questions, because they can write and write and write everything that they know. Yeah. And then you can say, oh, that they did understand this.
Yeah.
Because they are able to explain it in their own words. And you can pick it out, even though it may not be in the right order, it may not be spelled right, you get their gist of their thinking.
That one was kind of fun about grading them, I will say. And each kid, and then when they pop up, and I'm like, oh, what they're trying to say. So that was cool. And then the hardest part for me was deciding when something wasn't not exactly right, but it was maybe I could.
Yeah, I've given half points on questions.
Okay, because I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know if
And
I
I, like I said, I wanted to see how you did with, your first test.
Yeah.
And I have given half credit before. If they were almost there, or if they just like.
I did that with the essay question because I could, because I made it like 4 points. 4 points. But everything else, if they got like, it was hard. That was the hard part.
It is hard.
Yeah.
Especially when you know what they meant and you know the kids and you're like, oh, this is really good for them. But you have to also remember.
Make it across the board and
exactly make it consistent.
That was the hard part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So I like that. And then today when they got their test back and going over the answers was really good.
Okay.
Because that way it reinforces the mistakes that they made and they have to go find them and figure them out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I really meant, and I knew that, or oh yeah, I can understand why I got that wrong.
Yeah, that's
maybe
what I wanted.
Next time I should pay more attention to the names, or should pay more attention to, like, the bees. They were so sure that bees pollinating was an ecosystem good.
Yeah,
and it's not, because there are no bees in.
Asian China, India.
Exactly.
I gotta edit it anyway. So
Okay. Yeah, so going over the answers and making sure to do it in another color, because although you've already graded it, I
was so upset. I was like looking all around for a different colored pen, and I was like, black pen.
It's fine. But it gives them, it reinforces it in their brain, the right, because it's a different color.
And that's what
It also allows them to see it, and it also allows their parents, because, and I have done in elementary school where you have to take this test to your parents and get it signed and returned. If this was like something major, that might be something that you would want to do. Take this home, have your parents sign it, so that that their parents knew what their scores were. The good thing about using a colored pencil is that they can't. You erase it, put the right answer, take it to their parents and say, I got this right, she marked it wrong.
Right.
And then your parents are coming to me going, why did you mark this wrong? It's right. And you're looking at it going, I marked it wrong for a reason.
Yeah.
It's not the right answer. And some kids are really good about erasing it to, the hilt, so you can't even tell it was erased. They're sneaky. You have to always just keep that in the back of your mind, depending on what you're doing with the test.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, okay. Because they'll do that. Especially the older kids. The little ones aren't quite so savvy.
Yeah.